typical content and start focusing on creativity. That's clearly not going to happen anymore. I wanted to quickly come live to talk about recent things that have been happening, involvement, which obviously I can't seem to step away from, and where it can escalate to in a positive and negative way. As of a week now, this border conflict reignited, looking as any expat and any Khmer, to be brutally honest, looking at all the media, the fear-mongering, the reports daily, maps. There are maps going out as of 2 days ago where Siem Reap is coloured in red, as if it's extremely dangerous. So I want to go through what I've been up to, and you would have seen some of the videos and posts anyway. And at the end of this video is a call to action. So in the links below, if you want to be able to support again, and it's very hard to do because the last time this conflict got started, I asked, and there was a massive amount of support, but we've got to do it again. So first of all, conflict started up, and I reached out to some officials and some people who work alongside the ministries, and got a official government in order to do the media on behalf of Cambodia, but stating that it's neutral. I'm a British guy, I'm not Khmer, I'm not Thai, I could live anywhere in the world. I'm here doing it because it's home, it's somewhere that I've loved living, and everything's neutral, and you'll see that in everything that I put out. There's no aggression, there's nothing like that. So let's make sure that's all clear. Then going to Previhir. So when it all first ignited, I spent 4 days at Previhir, went into a danger zone, all permitted, all under the guidance of the governor, and visited the hospitals. And in these hospitals, meeting some of the military with the light injuries and the ICU, seeing everything from shrapnel that had impacted from dropped grenades and missiles, to smoke inhalation from heavy ordnance, in which the Khmer people use. So it's very common that when you're using heavy ordnance and there's this level of smoking, especially for some of these Khmer soldiers that are in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s that I met that day. So going to the hospital, talking to each of them, I have to filter through all of that today because it's hard to keep up with this stuff. So that was one thing. And then children. Everything from fevers to mild injuries. And it wasn't nice. It was 4 days of doing all this stuff, visiting the different camps, doing assessments. And being brutally honest, and I want to keep things honest, the camps that are overlooked by the governor's office, the officials, are doing amazing. You know, they have shelter, they have water supply, they have showers, they have aid tents, they have nurses. They are doing amazing, and well done. It's great to see that that's so quickly put in place. Amazing. There are tiny pockets. So for whatever reason, which we don't have to talk about, some Khmer communities have chosen to be independent and survive on their own. This is where the focus should be. Yes, you need these developed big camps so that if someone gets sick or someone doesn't know what to do, they can get to the big camps and have that overall aid. Perfect, great. But for whatever reason, you still have these little pockets. At Previhir province, highlighting and seeing some very amazing things I didn't know existed here. A great example is TPO. TPO is a mental health organization that is driving around to the camps and talking to people about the anxieties, the stresses, the fear, which is something that is very real here. As a perfect example of this, Chris, who was my guidance, very amazing Khmer American guy, military experience, I respect him a lot. he was listening in to a lot of conversations, being my ears within the Khmer community, and he was told, as I was talking to this mother with her 1-month-old baby who is struggling with food, we gave her $50 straight on hand. He was saying how people were suddenly saying that there are missiles, they can hear missiles. Now, we was relatively close to the border, but when it came to it, I checked in with Chris if he heard any missiles, if he heard any conflict. He said no, and I didn't hear anything. And part of the mental health side of it is this trauma. Whether you're 70 years old and you've lived through the Khmer Rouge and some of these conflicts, people are now hearing missiles and the bangs. They call it boom here, they don't call it a bang, the impact. So people multiple times during those 4 days was saying that, can you hear that? Can you hear that? Missiles. And there was even a moment where I was doing an interview with a family and their kids, and everyone was happy. You know, you're trying to make them laugh. You're bringing Duit Jakai, a small dog, and you're saying, you come home with Barang, you're coming with me. And they're laughing, and a sudden change. Again, a sudden change because they thought that they heard something. So yeah, obviously there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of anxiety, and one of the big things that happens to everyone all over the world, this isn't just saying about Cambodia, is we are all heavily embedded in social media where you are listening to the negative news, whether it's Gaza and Palestine and you've chosen your team to fight for, whether it's Thai and Cambodia where each side is given their media, and you become increasingly full of fear and nationalism and hatred to the other team. And because of this, you can imagine what that's going to do once it ends. You're going to imagine the tensions continuing with other nations. And I know that Cambodia and Vietnam doesn't have a good reputation either. So it's a horrible thing. So, play over here. That was 5 days. That was because of the evacuation. That province alone was about 170,000 people evacuated. The streets were dead. Hey, and Antinalia, how are you? The streets were dead. Driving around play over here after a very long day, a day using a lot of energy, trying to be positive when you're around people that you know aren't happy, is a very privileged thing to say. It's tiring, and I know that I'm saying that as someone who comes back to Siem Reap, who has an extremely more comfortable life than these people. But even trying to find a restaurant, even trying to find accommodation, it was a challenge. I'm from the UK. I left Oxford 3.5 years ago. Lived in Cambodia for 3 years now. Hi. So that was over here. Driving back, I slept. I slept like crazy. From that, the day after, reports and media went crazy because of a report that a missile had hit Siem Reap province. This is something very important to highlight. And let me get that details up for you. So there was this giant report. Getting messages, apologies, from Susaday Bong, Soksabai. So there was a frenzy of media about a missile that hit Siem Reap province at Slay Sanam, which obviously is a very scary thing. 1 second, I'll get it up for you. And a lot of media went a bit crazy. A lot of videos going out of children running away from schools. So I made the arrangements with the military, with my document, to go and report on this. So drove with an amazing assistant, Nang, great help. So we drove out to Slayton, met the military, asked questions, met the policing, asked questions. The village chief came out and wanted a picture. I don't know why they do this. Then we went to one of the 3 schools, which once that missile hit, they all ran. And if you look at my video on Facebook, I'll put it up on here as well, you'll see it. It's not nice to see. Now, again, I'm going to be neutral and I'm going to be honest, and I hope no one dislikes it. And even looking on Google right now for that map, it doesn't exist. You see, this is the problem with media now. Media is a mess all over the world. It's an absolute mess. So we went to one of the schools. This school was a primary and secondary school with about 450 students. 3 of these schools are now officially closed because we were in the danger zone. One thing I'm really trying to do to validate every piece of media, and it's important, is I want to see if you're telling me that a missile hit Slay Sanam, I've got the documents to do the media. I need the military to be able to check if things are safe and go. And let's be honest, in a war, if any side wanted to do real damage on the other side, they would do it. So myself being 4 kilometers in a school from the missile site, there's no difference in safety. If they wanted to shoot 4 kilometers inland, it doesn't matter. Good morning, Ginger and all. Thank you for covering this. I'm an expat from Canada, now living in Siem Reap. Hey man, hope you're well. Apologies, obviously I might look a bit tired, look a bit aged. Wisdom. So I heavily requested, I had military generals at Slayton coming out to meet some of the young soldiers, and I requested for them to escort and show me the site in which there was an impact. I spent 40 minutes to an hour standing, my great assistant Nang repeating what I'm saying, asking the questions in Khmer, and we didn't have access. We were denied. Now, and it's the same everything anywhere. Every media, every country has to tell their story. Fine, that's reality. We know this. But if you really want to show what's happening, the importance, that's what journalism is the neutrality of it. So I couldn't see it, and because I couldn't see it, I didn't want to state as a fact that it was there, which is horrible to say, because if it is real, it needs to be shown. I've asked Khmer military that I've got telegrams of, I've asked Phnom Penh Post, I've asked Khmer friends to look for it, and no one has sent me a picture or an image that is 100% that site, which is not good. It's not good for the country trying to tell what's happening if you cannot prove it. Yeah, so it's a bit of a stress. It's a bit of a mess trying to do stuff, which just means you're going to get burnt out quicker. So I'm just going to respond to this message. You're going to get burnt out quicker and not know what to do. But come back from Slayton and this is what I want to highlight. This is what I want you to be able to share, write something, ask friends and family, businesses that can get and sponsor. And when everything's done, I'll dress up like a monkey and I will do an advertising piece for you. Whatever, I don't care. Slayton on the way back, we identified and we stopped off at the independent camps, not aided by government. Now there were seven camps on one hour-long strip of road towards Slayton Pagoda, which is aided by officials. So great that they're doing that. But there are these little camps, families choosing to stick together in a small community, choose a little area along the long road. This means aid that is all going to the pagoda is going to be given out lesser to these camps, and I'm saying this in a nice way. So, as of next week, this Sunday, we've got the Christmas tuk-tuk parade, which I'm not doing much anymore, to be honest. I haven't been assisting at all, to be honest. But I'll be turning up as Santa to try and get some smiles going. I'll probably get emotional with that. And then straight after that is to get Siem Reap community, and everyone's doing their own thing. There's only a few people I know who are organised in what they're doing and not running to whatever major camps has been notified. So I'm going to be trying to get people together to aid these pockets, these small pockets of unaided. So if you guys are able to help with that, look on my Facebook, Ginge Novell, message me on here. My email and stuff's all attached to YouTube, because the Slaternon one is everything from hygiene products. Is a massive priority. If this is going to drag out for months, and I think it will, we need to make sure that we're doing it properly. So yeah, fundraising, again, not fun at all. Yeah. Anyway, how is everyone? And please let me know, what is it like? So if you're not in Cambodia, what is the media like for you in your country? Let me know now whilst I write this down. Okay. Okay, good. Nice. Whilst we're on a darker and depressing subject, I was in talks last night with a team, people in different countries, and we were talking about the way the world is looking right now, and how heightened, and how even individuals are joining in on social media, online, and on the streets in many parts of the world around conflict. As we all know, and it's all like promoted conflict. You know, Sudan has been in civil wars and stuff for over 10 years. Gaza and Palestine was the newest big thing, and still is the number one media part, Israel versus Palestine. Cambodia and Thailand is actually not that much in the media, and I know it's not as dramatic and hard, and the death rate, the death toll is not, I mean, in comparison it's nothing. But it's strange how, as individuals, you've got your business owners, you've got the people that choose to ignore, which is a massive, I kind of hate how people can just choose to disconnect from a reality of what's around them. Even here in Siem Reap, and being brutally honest, you live in Siem Reap, and you know, without the conflict, without any conflict, imagine going and paying hundreds of dollars for something like a hotel, anything like that, when you know 10 minutes down the road is a mother selling coconuts to just feed the family for that day. Right, that whole disconnection is why humanity will fail. But now with conflict, it's even worse. It's very hard to find media that is not hosted in Thailand. Yes, definitely. And if you have connections to media outside, like I'm in the talks with BBC, the UK, and as we know with the BBC, it's all kind of BS. It's all kind of crap. They were lying about a lot of things in the past. Does Cage actually discourage international media? That's another point, and I have to be careful on what I say. I've given a document from the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Information to be able to do media. Great, perfect. Now let me do it. Let me go where I want to go. You can sign a waiver, you can do anything like that. Let me do it. To be honest, the biggest struggle is getting access to these other media companies. My good friend Chris, who I respect immensely, he lived here for 12 years. He's back in Birmingham, UK. He is sending emails to every media outlet, and the response is dead. Now, I honestly don't know why. Are they too busy? Is this story not interesting enough for their audience? I honestly don't know why. So if you have any guidance, yeah, let me know. Let me know. Because I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I'm just checking messages, guys. But yeah, any opinions, any thoughts? Wow, so good friends checking on my media stuff. Yeah, it's very odd. And let's be brutally honest, is with media now, I watched an interview with a Thai and a Khmer representative on an international media platform, and when you listen to two people that have a bias to their country, you don't ever trust what they say anyway, right? If you have a Thai politician saying that Cambodia did this and this and this, we need them to stop. Cambodia is going to say they started it, they're encroaching, we need them to stop. Everyone internationally doesn't trust. So it's kind of pointless. This is why my take is simply humanitarian aid, right? You've got a child that is losing education, traveling for hours on these tiny, slow tractors. There's heat, there's food. It's damaging the growth of Cambodia, the development, and it's only just started picking up. So that's kind of my take on it, and I think the media needs to pick up on it a bit. Yeah. Savan okay, I'm getting some messages in. Yeah. How long was you in Canada, man? I'm getting some files. And you want to know something that's a little weird for me? You start to realize that because Cambodia is developing, because it's so cheap to set up a business, it's cheap to live here, a lot of foreigners that come here and everywhere in the world, they come, they live here, you can become very rich, you can do very well. I know medium level hotel owners who can live a crazy life, go on holiday, but the actual give back into community is kind of nothing. Somebody told me about the trickle down effect. You know, if you rent out hotel rooms for $200 a night, in the end that money goes down to the bottom, the people that need the help the most. This is kind of bullshit. It's kind of just BS. It's almost like a flow of water, and there's your grasp. If you're a business owner and the businesses and the economy and the government, the money that goes, those big ticket money, if you're holding your hand like this, more flow of money to the bottom. It's like this. this is what it really is like. Um, and the gatekeeping behind it, the obvious poverty gap, the wealth gap is crazy. And when it comes to a moment like this, where people need help, yes, there's a lot of people doing stuff. You've got influencers from the people, not from their pocket, from the people, because they're influencers raising $600,000, $700,000 from the Khmer people that probably should keep that money and then use it whenever you come across something, not to give it to an influencer who you trust will use it properly. And I speak for myself as well. It's absolutely crazy, very crazy, very annoying, very sad to see. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to look at messages, guys. Tell me, what have you heard about the conflict? What's your opinions on it? Yeah, let me know. Let me know. Ah, there we go. Hey, man. Still alive. Apologies. I've got a gentleman coming who works alongside the ministries today. I might end this live and get on with what I need to do. But yeah, thank you all. Take care. Much love. Bye.